Max Verstappen is going to lead and double his advantage in the World Championship for the first time on US soil. Max Verstappen wins the US Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton has to settle for second. The charge got close, but not quite close enough.
Yes! Oh, baby, yes! What a finish! This is In the Paddock F1. Greeny and the Cheese. That was David Cross calling Sky Sports, courtesy of Formula1.com. We are in Austin, Texas, Texarkana, for the U.S. Grand Prix. Austin, formerly known as Waterloo until 1839, when it was then changed to be named after the father of Texas, Stephen F. Austin. How about that, Michael? Did you know that, sir?
I did not know that.
Little history lesson for you.
It was the Stephen F. Austin Institute University in Texas, but continue, sir.
Yes, and Austin is also home to Willie Nelson. That's right. Janis Joplin. How about them apples? How about a little Sandra Bee, Sandra Bullock, Matthew McConaughey? Get out of town. Oh, we got a couple more for you still. From the Lord of the Rings, Frodo Baggins himself, Elijah Wood. That's right, Frodo. And one more, Michael. How about this one? Stone Cold Steve Austin. How about that, sir?
I assume Stone Cold was there, yeah.
Very good, sir. Look at you guessing it out. Your bets probably would have been better on this than what happened today, but we'll get to that later. This is not a celebrity show, a little bit of a gambling show, but this is an F1 show overall. And in the land of the Longhorn, the Red Bull is king. Red Bull rolled the hard six with their strategy. Gets Max out in front. Lewis is unable to run him down. We're caffeinated. We're medicated. U.S. Grand Prix. Michael, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Cheese. How do you beat that, man? As we pump up the tunes, and we are ready for yet another, and what will be a series, as we said, over the next year of 3 races, which I'm excited about. Because we could see in 2023 3 races on the calendar. But before we get to that, Max Verstappen is king. Max Verstappen might have not put it to bed, as we know. Obviously, there's plenty of chance. We are now 12-point advantage for Max Verstappen. Lewis puts in the fastest lap to at least gain a point back. But now 12-point lead for Max. Things are looking pretty good with 5 races to go. I don't think anyone's too surprised at the outcome, but let's go all the way back to the first lap, because I think that's where the money was made. That's where the excitement began, and that's what had the chase going for the entire race today, where Lewis Hamilton passes Max Verstappen. Did Lewis have track position there coming back in when Lewis was coming back on the track? It was a lot of off-track stuff going on. Cheese, break it down for us. First lap, Lewis and Max. Break it down.
Lewis got just a ridiculous start off the line. So it was side by side with Max. He's, little bit of a disadvantage actually to get pole at Coda, since you are on the outside instead of being on the inside. So Lewis with the great start makes up that 8 meters very quickly. Side by side on the turn 1, gives Max the old elbows and pushes him outside. Max is then behind a little. Checo actually checked up a little bit to give Max some way to stay in second, or Checo could have, if Checo wanted to, he could have probably just stuck his nose in there and forced Max to let off the gas there. But Checo let him back in. Max is then trailing him and pretty much Red Bull's managed their tires well. I think they made the jump for the undercut then with Lewis then in front. Max was just pretty much cruising behind him. He even said Lewis is sliding all over the place and I got more pace. But I'm just sitting here chilling and relaxing to get to the first stop where the strategy games became afoot. Red Bull rolls the hard 6 going for the big undercut, which totally works out. I was actually super surprised with the early second stop, to be honest, to leave Max out there for so long on those tires, but bloody hell did he ever manage those things brilliantly. Actually was pulling away a little bit there on Lewis the last couple laps here and there. Lewis would catch up, would close the gap, and then Max would just step it up a little bit and push that little extra after saving the tires throughout that just excellent stint. That final stint was beautiful, beautifully executed, and he deserves a win. Doubles his lead from 6 to 12, 5 races to go. Looking on paper, you'd say Red Bull's got a little advantage here and there. Mercedes got advantage here and there. I can't really say anything about Qatar since we've never been there. So that's a little bit of a wild card to see what ends up that weekend. But looks like it's going to come down the wire. 12 points is, anything can happen. Engine failure or something like that. Max is the DNF, and then Lewis is back with the, say 10, 12-point lead. Lewis has something go wrong, and then he's definitely on the major back foot. But Merck is a little bit on the back foot with the front two right now.
Yeah, and Red Bull picks up 13 points in the constructors this week, so it is now a 23-point advantage for Mercedes. It's not insurmountable. Not insurmountable. Seems like a big advantage. Definitely not insurmountable. Same with Max. Obviously, it's a race. As we said, this was really the benchmark race, as we kind of talked about even preseason when we get to the U.S. Not to be too conceited here that it was, the home race for our country, but still, that's kind of a good marker point. It's really the time where we can really start talking about points race to race. Before this week, it's really tough to start talking about points race to race and where we're at because things could fluctuate so quickly. But now with 5 races to go, the picture is really clear. We have a couple things going on, not just with Red Bull and Mercedes, which we'll get a lot more to later, but we also have, my friend, Ferrari and McLaren. And you saw the first lap, what was going down. Let's take us back again to the first lap. Talked about Lewis and Max. We'll talk a lot about them later. Talk to me about Ferrari and McLaren in that first lap and how that was going down.
3 wide down the back stretch. Just people are going for it. They, McLaren came in knowing that they had to get past the Ferraris. The race is between those two. And it's basically it's an inner race, but inside the races, you got Merck and Red Bull, and you got Ferrari and McLaren. Ferrari with a great performance today with a 4th and 7th closes the gap to 3.5 points. A little 3 and a hook, or 4 points if you got to cover that. So it's going to come down to the wire. Ferrari's on the charge right now, though. They got the addition of the new battery, which has definitely increased the power of the car, massively increased the power. And puts them on the, get them on the same level with McLaren. The couple upgrades that Ferrari has done throughout the year I think it's even exceeded their own expectations. I know the battery, this last upgrade with the batteries definitely farly exceeded the expectations that they thought they were going to get out of it. And Ferrari will end up passing McLaren. I have no doubt in my mind. They are on the front foot. McLaren is definitely on the back foot right now. And McLaren is in a Mercedes engine. And as we know, the Mercedes engine doesn't have reliability right now. And both Ferraris basically threw new motors in the last couple of weeks prior. So they might be able to go the entire distance without any issues in that respect. So McLaren is definitely on the back foot compared to Ferrari. The red cars! The red cars!
Yeah, man. Lando definitely coming off the break, looked phenomenal, and now he is definitely taking a step back.
Did you see any of the post-race interviews?
Yes.
No, I mean like the driver's pool when they get all the other drivers. Lando looked in shock. Like he was shocked that McLaren's just basically got nothing right now compared to Ferrari. he's basically, we're on the back foot and we got to do something. We got to come up with something. But I don't think there's much they can do.
Yeah,
at this point.
Danny raced well today. He's definitely having a much
Danny
better
raced
second
well
half.
today. Danny always
much better
does well
second
in
half.
Texas. Bring that man to America, throw him in a stock car, give him some brisket, and the man is a happy camper and he brings it. He loves his brisket. Did you hear what he said? As soon as he gets off the plane, he goes and he gets some good barbecue and a couple beers. The man changes when he comes to Texas.
Yeah.
Get that man some brisket and he takes it to a different level. I mean, he might have to start getting that brisket like FedEx to him wherever the heck he is, man. If that's if it's bringing you that much luck and stuff, I'm a little superstitious on things. I played sports. I had a way of doing things, and you eat a certain food or something like that when you're on a good run or something like that. So, man, he might have to start doing it. FedEx that stuff.
Yeah, Danny finishing 12th in Turkey, but I mean, he also. He did finish 4th in Russia, so Danny's definitely had some good races here and putting some points on the board. But overall, Carlos Sainz, finishing 7th, losing 2 spots, but still finishing 7th, scoring once more. 10 straight? Is that 10 straight races?
Should have actually been in front of Ricardo if they didn't have that horrid stop. That horrid stop that he got. Was at the last stop. It was like 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then McLaren came right back in the next lap for the undercut because they knew they could get in front with that just horrid pit stop. So they actually could have been 4th and 5th today, to be honest, and would have been in front of McLaren. So we got to clean that up a little bit there in Ferrari. Got to clean that mess up.
All right,
could have been 4th and 5th.
Yeah, could have been 4th and 5th. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. It is not, but what it is Mercedes, Red Bull battling, Ferrari, McLaren battling, 5 races to go. We still have a lot to go in F1. We have a lot to go tonight in the paddock with Greeny and the Cheese because, my friend, we have Greeny Bucks. It seems it might be over for one of us. The nail with 5 races to go. Very unlike F1 this year. It might be over. We'll see what's going on there. We still have winners and losers. And, of course, we're going to get that baby powder out. Someone is going to slap themselves in the face tonight because it is Sunday night. And we have a new segment. Life in the fast lane. We're going to bring that all to you. Greeny and the Cheese in the Paddock F1. We're back after this. What's up, everyone? Greeny from In the Paddock here. If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Please let me explain. It's free. Okay, free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you for free, so it can be heard on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many, many more. You can make money as well. Money with your podcast. No minimum listenership, and it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's Sunday night, Austin, Texas, baby. Finally, COTA 2012 is here, Circuit of the America. Party
2021.
time. 2021, I apologize, as we missed 2020. That excited. It's been a long time. The largest crowd since March 2020. The largest crowd in the United States since March 2020. Since the beginning of the pandemic, 140,000 people at the Circuit of the Americas. We'll get to that later. But first, we have winners, we have losers, every single race. And Cheese has answers every single race because he knows who the winners are. He knows who the losers are. With your wisdom, my friend, Let's
All right, we're going to
go.
start it off here. I got 2 for you. We're going to go winners first since you'd like to go with winners.
Winners. I like winners first. Go.
Winners first. So we're going to go. Sergio Perez is going to get my first winner this week, coming in a solid, lovely third. Big drive for Redbull as well for Sergio finishing third. And the man had no water after the first lap. His drink system
No
failed.
agua.
And it was bloody hot there in Texas. The man's even after the race said, I was pretty much shot after lap 20. I was pretty much gassed. Man was sick during this week too. He had a little cold. So kudos to him to drive that well and to come home third with no juice. Because it gets bloody hot in Formula One car.
It's hot in January in Texas.
So driving a Formula One car, it gets hot in that darn car too. I mean, was it Nikita Mazepin saying his feet were on fire, if I'm not mistaken, today? So definitely kudos to Sergio Checo Perez for finishing third. And our other winner this week will be Yuki Tsunoda. We've talked enough trash about Yuki most of the season because, he ain't been bringing home the bacon. Pretty much been looking like trash. Last couple weeks, though, it's been showing up. Showing maybe AlphaTauri didn't make the wrong decision to bring him back for next season. Ninth place finish, +1 on the day. So we'll give Yuki our other winner, since we already covered so much already in the first segment. Do you have any, sir?
It's very nice. Of course I have.
Category.
I have some winners. Always have winners. First up, Danny Ricciardo, finishing 5th. How do you not love the last 2 out of the last 3 races and finishing the top 5, 4th back in Russia? Gotta love it. And then your ponies. I got to give your ponies love. Because Charles Leclerc, once again, back-to-back, 4th place finishes. He was like close. Close. I was feeling it for a minute. He finished about 6.5 seconds behind, coming in 4th place behind Checo, who was dehydrated, probably feeling like a raisin coming down the last couple laps, but held him off. He held him off, and those are my winners. So got a bunch
I didn't bring
winners.
it. I was going to bring up Ferrari and McLaren for winners and losers, but I decided not to since we covered them in the first segment. But I like how you talk about the red cars. That puts a smile on my face.
Puts a smile on my face. It's true. You know what? I can't not face reality sometimes, and it's a good couple drives. I was brutal on Ferrari, and especially in the off season. I was putting up pictures of a red donkey with like the Ferrari stickers on it. It was bad last season. And
darn right it was.
This season it's not a full 180. But it's pretty close. I mean, I'm sure your feelings are a little bit more detailed than my overview of Ferrari's progression over the last couple seasons. But to me, it's obvious that obviously Ferrari's trying to finish third here. Only 4 points behind McLaren right now. 4 points behind McLaren. So
they belong. They actually belong to be fighting for the title. This is Ferrari we're talking about.
Well, yeah.
So it ain't back yet, but it's definitely on the front foot. Definitely the car is definitely improving. Everything goes out the window in, a couple months here after the final 5 races with the new regs and everything for next year. So who knows what's going to happen next year. But the power plant's looking pretty darn good, I'll say that. But I love when you talk about the red cars in the positive manner. It brings a smile to my face. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Also Seb getting points, which I forgot to mention as well. Coming all the way from 18th, getting biggest gainer of the day. Seb getting points, getting in 10th place. Yeah, a little charge, sneaky, and got in there and stuck in for points. So definitely got to give it up for him as well. That leaves us with losers. Seems like there was several on track today. Cheese, what you got?
I got a couple here for you. Where are we going to start? I'm going to start with Kimi. I mean, he's looking like he's going to have, could have maybe got a 10th there for a minute.
Yeah.
Then, instead of looking like an old wily veteran winding down the career, he looked like a shaved tooth Louie, with the spinning out, looking like a fool through turn 6. So definitely going to give him the loser category. And debating, my next one's going to, I have 2 left. One of them's getting slap yourself.
All right.
So we're going to go with our other loser, Pierre Gasly. Has a sensor issue on the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets into the race, and then his suspension breaks on him. After, he's starting top 10 again. Pierre's been, out driving that AlphaTauri all season, but just, you get the loser this week from, you get a whole bunch of mechanical issues for you this week. So, yeah, we'll give you a loser.
Right on, man. I'm going to go first and foremost with the Haas this week. And Mick Schumacher on the last lap, for him to play a part in not getting out of the way quick enough and putting Max in that situation. There's no reason for someone who's finishing at the back of the pack to affect the race in that way. You got to move over, and you have to be much more aware than that when there's an active race going on and you're on the track. Definitely not. We always talk about safety first, and that's so many things are wrong there. We've seen so many issues, or not issues, but incidents that happen on the final lap or on the final couple laps, especially with the tires wearing. They're burning those tires at the end. And by the way, fantastic tire management all day by Red Bull to put them in their position. But they were burning those tires all day, and he could have killed someone. By being there. That was an aggressive final lap. And then,
well, that's not the position you want to be in, to be talked about getting in the way of the 2 guys fighting for the lead in the last lap of the race. It's definitely not what you want to be talked about. And then your other boy there almost killed Seb yesterday in quali, slowing down, basically driving in the racing line when other guys are on hot laps do the S's. I mean, Mazepin looked like a fool yesterday, yet again. So it's definitely not the way you want to be mentioned as a racing driver, getting in the way of other people. So yes, I would concur with that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's tough. It's tough to have another loser. I mean, I'm looking at Lando Norris, to be honest, and he did look wiped at the end. He looked like a deer in headlights. Looked like for a while, especially after the break, it looked like he was really catching up. I mean, remember, he's young. He's 21, 22 years old. So he's still young, and he looked like he started getting a handle on it. He did look great all season long. He had that point scoring streak for a while. And then I think it's getting to him a little bit. And I think he's got a lot of growing up and maturing to do in a very short amount of time, which is great on a lot of levels. We'll see what he does, but a lot of pressure now. He came in pretty much with no pressure, with no expectations in the beginning of the season. And then yeah, here we are.
No, he definitely had. I totally disagree with that. He definitely had expectations going into the season because he was the number one. After Carlos leaves, and the way he performed last year, especially near the end of the season, showing that he definitely belonged and grew into the seat, he was definitely the number one driver coming in this year. So there's a lot more pressure that he didn't have in the first year when he basically got a pass for being a rookie.
Yeah, but he was up third.
He's the number one seat at McLaren. Going into the season, he was the number one seat.
Third for a portion of the season. He was in third. And that is way above whatever expectation you could have set for him going into the season. There's no way you thought Lando Norris was gonna compete for top 3 or 4 this season. So yeah, his expectations did go up and did go up very quickly, putting himself in that position. And we'll see what happens. He's a fantastic driver, and I do wish him luck. But he looked like a deer in headlights today at times. I don't know what was going on, but he had a tough day today. It's not really a loser, but if I got to put someone in there, gun to my head, I'm going to put Lando Norris as my second loser. And that's my winners and losers.
All right. Well, to another lovely part of the program. It's time to get out that powder and slap your damn self.
I need to slap my goddamn self for that.
And this week's award Goes to Alpine.
The whole
Yeah,
team.
both cars. The whole team. Yeah, both cars don't finish the race because they're falling apart. Both cars. Embarrassing. Just embarrassing. You knew it was going to be a tough, bumpy race. You knew this weeks in advance. Other teams were beefing things up and parts up during the week because they knew it was coming. Apparently, Alpine didn't get the memo because there was, it's been talked about for weeks that this was going to be a problem. Going back to, MotoGP's race here a couple weeks ago with all the bumps and everything. You knew it was going to be a rough race. You knew that after Friday, it was going to be a rough race. And to not have both cars finish, you go through the whole engine change and everything with Fernando. He's on a charge, really. Looking like he could actually got points, and your car falls apart yet again. Just not good enough. Get out the powder. Slap yourself. Poor performance. Poor. Want to call yourself a mid-grid team or fighting with McLaren and Ferrari for the that spot is what Alpine wants. Better bring a little bit more than that. Get out the powder.
Yeah, some harsh words there, man. But you're right, 100% right. You gotta do a lot better. The car was falling apart today. They could not adjust. Maybe it was the heat they couldn't adjust to. It could have been a whole bunch of factors, but whatever it is, they didn't adjust, and they had a poor finish today. And that is slap your own damn self. Quality, man. Quality stuff. We're going to be back real quick because we have Greenie Bucks, my friend. Someone has got smashed. One of us, it's over. It's over. Pack up your stuff. It's just really like when we talked about cashing in or checking out. Someone's checking out. This is it. Someone's checking out. Get out of town. The Uber is waiting outside. The yellow cab. It's like your Jerry Maguire moment. Getting in the cab. Get in the cab. Go to the airport because you're done. You're done. It's gonna be a miracle to save your ass now. Greenie the cheese and the paddock F1. More laughs right after this.
Yes! Yes! Oh, I got that grin on my face right now. In the paddock F1, Greenie and the cheese. That's right. You know what that sound means? It's a double gun Sunday! Yes! Hall & Oates double gun Sunday. Ah, yes. Cashing in or checking out? Well, I'm cashing in. That's for darn sure. 2 out of 3 for me. I don't know if I think Michael got a big fat can of nope. My dreams are coming true. His are not. He's checking out. He's calling for the bill. The car's warmed up. The bags are packed. He's in trouble. I am not.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can give you the raw stats and the raw numbers. First and foremost, congratulations.
Sound a little depressed. There.
On your trifecta. Let me speak. You had your turn, and now it's my turn. Because, honestly, it's been a heck of a year for Greenie Bucks. But unless there's a miracle and I pull some 50-1 trifecta, I'm going to do some accounting.
Call the accounts back in again.
I think it's. Let me just go over the numbers. Let's go over what happened last today. Let's go over our picks from last night, and then we'll assess the situation. We'll go from there. Okay, so
please do, sir.
You had Max Verstappen winning. I had Lewis Hamilton winning. All right. Obviously, Max Verstappen won. You had 20. I had 20. I lost 20. You doubled your winnings, or you doubled your money. Okay. Biggest gainer. We both lost. It was Sebastian Vettel +8. you had Fernando Alonso, who couldn't even finish the race, and I went with Kimi Räikkönen, who just embarrassed himself on lap 53 and missing out on the points. So that was my situation. And then the trifecta, which really did it. And for some reason, first of all, Fernando Alonso, the first non-20, your first 10 of the year, and you go ahead and bet on Fernando Alonso. And just a hedge.
Just
And then your trifecta, I had Hamilton, Max, and Leclerc, which for a little bit looked like it might have come true, and that was a big 25-1 trifecta. Yours was 10-1, which is still a pretty decent number. You bet 20 on Max, Lewis, and Sergio Perez. As it came, 1, 2, 3, put it in the books, and 10-1, so that gives you 200. 230 plus gives you 1,250. I said yesterday you wanted between a 7 to 15% rip on the season, and you're now at 25%, which is very good.
That's right.
That is that.
It
that is
seems
in the
to
very
be
good zone.
Recently, sir. It seems to be recently. Whenever you talk smack about something, it ends up turning around quickly and biting you right back in the ass. You started ripping on me.
This is true.
About, even though I'm like $500 ahead of you, you still had to get that little grind in there yet last night, you're almost back out of the green zone, you're almost back to level pegging. And you gave that speech about, being a percentage, this is where you want to be. And then, the next day, I hit that stuff and boom, right back over that line that you're talking all kinds of rubbish about. So yeah,
you got the juju going.
That's right, sir. That's the second time this year with Greenie Bucks that I've had a hole and oats double gun Sunday.
Back against the wall, and you punched back hard, and you're all the credit, man. All the credit. So tally.
What is your total at?
Not quite.
What is your total at now?
Let's go over your total again. 1,250. Very solid. I've dipped below the 500 mark, which now you're down into like epic, like Nick Cage leaving Las Vegas losses here. So I have 475 greedy bucks. I'm way down there. I'm way down there.
We're pushing. We're almost pushing.
Dwindle down. You're close to tripling me at this point. You weren't even doubling me until I think at one point, maybe for a moment, you had double. You had double the amount that I did. But now it looks to me like you're almost triple. 475 times 3, that's what, 13, 1425. And you're 1250. Yeah, it's pretty close to triple. Definitely more than double, obviously. But 2.5 plus times that you're beating me now. It's a lot. That's a lot to make up. So even if I bet everything on Max next week, say, and I won, I still wouldn't catch up to you. Unless I hit a trifecta. And even if I had a trifecta at 25-1, I would have to bet like 50 on a 25-1.
So the loon bets are coming out. In a fortnight's time, the loon bets are coming out.
I mean, what am I gonna do? It's over. It's over. All I have, it's like the 12th round of a championship fight, and I just need a knockout. It's 10 rounds to 1. And I just need one solid shot on the chin. You've seen those fights? You've seen those fights? I just need one, like just one shot on the chin to knock you out, and it's rare that it happens, but it does happen. So I'm not officially conceding. I decided late last night that I'm not officially conceding until the last race of the season, because I could hit a 25. I could have put a 50 down on a 20 on a 25 to 1 long shot and take it. So, but it's probably not going to happen. So I am congratulating you on a great season. I think that's what we're doing this evening, and acknowledging you clobbering me. And outside of, again, a miracle ace out of my sleeve, you are the, again, 25% profit margin over the course of the season is pretty darn good. So, congrats to you. And
still the Lord of Greentopia, sir.
We still have 5 weeks to go. But it's not looking good. All right. So you ready? Because we got a new segment.
Sure.
Man. We got a new segment. It's called Life in the Fast Lane. Are you ready, sir? And can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir, I am.
Then let the 3 minutes.
I can
let
hear
the
you,
3
sir.
minutes begin. All right. Could this race have been the defining moment for Max Verstappen in the 2021 season?
It definitely could be, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go all in on that right now. There's too many races to go, and too many things can happen in racing with it being only 12 points. So it could be, but that's to be seen. Next question.
Max saving his tires, especially in the last 15 laps or so. How do you feel about Max's tire? The way he saved his tires down the stretch. Think that won him the race?
That was a brilliant drive down the stretch. Absolutely brilliant down the stretch. Superb job managing the tires on that 26-lap final stint. So it was superb. Brilliant drive for Max today. Next.
What does Mercedes have to do to close this season out and take the Constructors' Championship?
Not be messing up like they've been doing. Last number of races, getting their strategies right, and praying to God they somehow find some kind of way to slow down the decay of their ICEs and all their engine components, because they got some reliability issues. They have reliability issues, and that's their biggest downfall right now. Next.
Hi. Lewis Hamilton says, this seems like our acceptance into the U.S. as today's Formula One race, the way the crowd was 140,000 strong, is today the acceptance of Formula One in the United States officially.
I bloody hope so. I mean, it's about time. It's one of the, the creme de la creme of motorsport is Formula One. And, 140,000 people showing up, packing it all weekend long. I think all weekend there's something in the range of 360,000 or so, I think, or something in that range. We're there over the entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I mean, you had 100,000 people there for Friday practice. So I bloody hope so. It should be.
Yeah.
Hopefully this is the official coming out party.
Highest attendance of any United States sporting event since the beginning of the pandemic. Good thing or bad thing?
I don't know. It was in Texas, so we'll find out. We'll let you know in 2 weeks. or 10 days or whatever the CDC says now. So we'll find out then. I mean, there was some dude in the crowd doing a shoey out of his Air Jordan. So who the heck knows what's going on out there? Next question.
All right, last question we can get to. Ferrari, McLaren, who's going to finish third this season?
Ferrari, what the hell am I talking about? Ferrari, of course. Ferrari, 100% Ferrari. Come on. Get out of town.
That was it.
Ferrari's got it.
Only question we missed. We didn't get through all 10. Only question you missed was Mercedes, Red Bull, down the stretch they come. Who's going to take it? But I kind of asked that question earlier a little bit. What does Mercedes have to do to win this Constructors Championship. Great episode, man. Great episode. Mexico is next, my friend.
Absolutely.
Mexico. I'm going to be begging for
In a
greedy bucks for
fortnight's
street.
time, we are in Mexico City. A fortnight's time, Mexico City, baby.
Be there,
Checo's
be
home
square.
race.
Checo, Greenie and the Cheese in the Paddock F1, in the Paddock USA at gmail.com. Hit us up, send us those questions. We want to fill our mailbag. Say what you got to say, homie.
We'll see you in a fortnight's time, and as always, stay medicated, my friends.
Peace.
Peace.